Without further ado, he's an amazing speaker, so I am going to turn the stage over to him. Welcome, Barry.
Well, that's a lot to live up to. Okay. All right. Thank you, and good afternoon. For the next 20 minutes or so, I want to have a conversation about how we metamorphosized beauty retail through innovation, how we find the white space, and the possible future of retail. My goal is to be provocative, spark ideas, and get a dialogue going about how to drive even more creativity. I'm going to start by briefly taking you through our business model, spend some time on our key innovations and differentiators, and then discuss how we prioritize our decision-making around future innovation. Bluemercury is a nationwide luxury cosmetics retailer, e-commerce provider, and cosmetics brand developer who today is widely recognized as the largest and fastest growing luxury beauty products and retail spa chain in America. Although we now have stores from coast to coast and are transitioning from a cult brand to a household name, we still have that feeling of the friendly neighborhood store where you can get expert, honest advice. All of the pieces of our business build together to create that neighborhood store environment. We're a mom and pop store, and I run the business like a family business. We still personally interview every store manager that joins the company. Our stores are located near where our clients live and work, in the cities within a 5-mile radius, and in the suburbs, 15-minute drive door to door. We have amazing beauty experts, and we hire beauty junkies who want a career with us. And we have spas at 90% of our locations. We were rated by Oprah Winfrey as the best facial in America. We are assisted open sell. We let the client be in charge to shop on their own or ask for specific advice. And we are curators. We see retail as personal and emotional, and we pick products and brands that strike a chord with our customers. See how So who is the Bluemercury customer? The Bluemercury customer is the customer to die for. It's the customer that every innovator would want to get to. Our core client is educated, decisive, affluent, and comfortable in her own skin. She may be a recent college graduate headed towards her 30s, a new mom at the peak of her extremely successful career, or an empty nester. She's a millennial, Gen Y, Gen X, a baby boomer, and even now we're starting to see Gen Z. She is urban, suburban, she visits us a lot, and she wants solutions to her beauty problems. Today, 17 years since the founding of Bluemercury, with aggressive store growth planned and an e-commerce site growing at a supersonic pace, we know exactly where we came from and why we are different. So let me spend a few minutes talking about where the innovation came from during the early years. It was during the process of selling my first company that I met my beautiful and brilliant wife, Marla, right there. She became the other co-founder and my partner at Bluemercury and my wonderful wife. I was a serial and sometimes rogue entrepreneur, always looking for ways to disrupt the flow of normal industries, ones that had problems that needed solutions. All I needed this time was another new idea. In 1999, I was living in Georgetown in Washington, D.C. That is not Georgetown, by the way, where I discovered an independent beauty boutique with one store. It carried a couple of interesting cosmetic brands, such as NARS and Kiehl's. I would say it was like a light bulb went off in my head, but it was more like fireworks. Everything else had been pulled out of the department stores. Kitchen goods by Williams-Sonoma, electronics by Best Buy, and furniture by Pottery Barn. Why not cosmetics? Back then, you could only really buy cosmetics at department stores or drugstores. I loved the idea of a national chain of beauty boutiques so much that in September of 1999, I bought that store and renamed it Bluemercury. Within months, the world changed. Sephora trumpeted that they were opening 2 doors down from us in Georgetown. But with that added competition at the very beginning, we had to learn who we were, what we were about, and where we were headed. After raising a couple small rounds of financing, we still owned almost the whole company and could dictate the way it was run. We began to step on the gas with lots of high-octane growth and became known as something of the sort of Starbucks of cosmetics. We continued our juggernaut-like growth, and by April of 2014, began getting calls from interested suitors, both Fortune 500 companies and, of course, private equity companies, all looking for new growth vehicles. In March of last year, we agreed to sell the company to Macys, Inc., which was really the capstone of my journey as we joined forces with Terry Lundgren, one of the greatest retail minds in the world today. And with that, I will say that this was their first acquisition in more than a decade. So with that, one of the most respected retailers in the world made a resounding statement that they intend to make Bluemercury their platform for growth and innovation. After many hard years at work and in the face of an often unsure path forward, it was an amazing feeling of recognition of the innovation and value that we had created. So you must be asking, why were we able to build a specialty retail chain in what felt like legions of competition? We built a unique business model that was unable to be replicated. But the real secret to our ability to continue to revolutionize specialty retail came from several key innovations. One, our innovative human resource model. Two, our unique approach to merchandising and private brand creation. And three, our exceptionally laser-focused real estate strategy. So our first key innovation was our radically different people strategy, which has become our enduring secret weapon. Since our mission that we set out 16 years ago was to be the best in the world at giving beauty advice, our stores are staffed by beauty experts who are real-life beauty junkies, selected based on their passion for prestige beauty products and their friendly, client-focused disposition. When I came into cosmetics in 1999, the majority of the employees in the industry were part-time workers. I had a working theory. I thought, what would happen if I gave our staff full-time work benefits and a true career path? By retaining full-time staff, we also retain their knowledge, customer relationships, loyalty, and expertise. Today, we have taught our beauty experts at Bluemercury how to lead, manage, and realize a level of success they never imagined possible. 100% of our district managers today were once Bluemercury store managers, and virtually all of our store managers were once sales associates. It's a pretty amazing statistic. Second, we employ an innovative team sales model which completely revolves around solving client problems and is sustained by our team-based compensation structure rather than commission. Our philosophy is that if our people solve problems for our clients, they'll be customers for life. This encourages beauty expert collaboration and cross-pollination of product knowledge rather than competition. At Bluemercury, more than 50% of the time, a customer comes into Bluemercury looking for a solution to a problem. I need a sunscreen with a high SPF. Do you have hairspray that's not sticky? I need an eye cream for dark circles. Interestingly, actually only 25% of the time does a Bluemercury customer come into our store looking for a specific brand or a product within that brand. Therefore, I like to say our beauty experts have to be human Googles for product. They need to know which products have which attributes and be exceedingly good problem solvers. With the internet, clients today have more choices than ever. The customer today demands hyper-personalization and hyper-customization in their shopping experience. Our people innovation has established a cult following as our experts forge deep, trusted, and loyal relationships with our customers. Today, 86% of purchase values at Bluemercury are associated with a client record. By year 3, listen to this, by year 3, more than 72% of sales at every store come from repeat customers, while we're comping up at double digits. Our second key innovation is product. We are innovative product curators and cosmetic brand developers. Our approach to product innovation revolves around several core concepts. The first is newness. Why is new product innovation important? New products drive traffic and brand building. It is the promise of something new to look at that drives customers into your store and onto your e-commerce site. But it's a winner-takes-all game. Last year, we launched nearly 3,000 beauty products. 3,000. Only 500 of these were successful, taking 80% of the new product revenue. This means approximately 2,500 SKUs failed to resonate with our customers. as you know, product proliferation is at a fever pitch. If you look closely at this chart, which has launches by month, in April alone, we launched more than 15 new products a day. But it is about the launching of smart, targeted, and effective new products. Also, we endeavor to be innovative curators and often look to our vendor partners to help promote creativity. Unfortunately, there were wrinkles along the way. In 1999, our original vendor partners were entrepreneurs and experimental pioneers like us, and we could look to them for innovation. Within 12 months of starting my company, the landscape completely changed. The big four in the beauty industry decided to go on an acquisition binge. So instead of doing business with the founders and owners, we were now in business with Estee Lauder, Shiseido, LVMH, and L'Oreal. So I added more indie brands, Laura Mercier, Frederic Fekkai, Ren, and Revive. And you know what happened then. More acquisitions. Therefore, we're always on the hunt, scrutinizing the landscape, looking for interesting brands with long innovation runways of their own. Also, I search for annuity skews. What is an annuity skew? An annuity skew is a skew clients come in for year after year after year. Why? Because they love it, they can't live without it, and it works. If you go for this goal, you're really creating consistent traffic and loyalty. Our customers were coming in asking for a highly effective natural skincare brand that didn't have harsh chemicals. The result was the development and creation of our own proprietary brand, M61 Skincare, the most natural cosmeceutical brand in the industry. This was very difficult for us to create. Our focus when creating our proprietary brand was to solve the unmet needs of our customers, while, of course, at the same time, creating as many annuity SKUs as we could. Today, M61 has become a runaway cult brand success, containing many annuity SKUs and top sellers across our fleet. But remember, if you don't cannibalize your own annuity SKU, somebody else will. Our last product criteria is simply love. We take an innovative mindset to our product merchandising and product creation. And our merchandising motto is simply, love is all we need. If we love it, our clients will love it. We are not afraid to collaborate with our vendor partners early in the design process. Sure, you trade off some confidentiality, but in exchange you get a deeper partnership and increase the likelihood of success. Too often we're told about a product launch within 6 months after it's already been misnamed, mispriced, or just isn't even a need that we have. Our third key innovation is our land and expand real estate strategy. We successfully cluster our stores in a given market, which makes us unique amongst luxury retailers. We have 14 stores in Washington, D.C., with 2 stores in Bethesda, Maryland, and 3 stores around DuPont Circle, effectively building a moat of convenience around our customers. We specifically target sites on busy, high-density streets where clients live their life, buy coffee, and go grocery shopping, which encourages visits, with our best customers visiting us 2 to 3 times a month. Our clustered stores benefit from established brand awareness. Rather than a cannibalization of sales, seen by most retailers, we actually see a lift to the overall business, as this high density of nearby stores helps each subsequent new store ramp up even more quickly and gives us even higher returns. So yes, at Bluemercury, I would say our retail heritage is planted firmly as innovators, disruptors. We've changed cosmetics retailing forever. But we're often asked, what's next? How do we think about the future of retail? So I remind myself that what seems extraordinary today will seem ordinary tomorrow. When considering this, the biggest worry of any C-suite executive in this room right now is the fear of being Ubered. What do I mean by being Ubered? Completely disrupted by innovation you were unaware of. Today, we use our cell phone while standing on the street to tell a perfect stranger our location so he can pick us up. Isn't this everything your mother warned you not to do? If you use Uber, you've been disrupted. As I approach and look to the next wave of innovation, Bluemercury's approach to the white space always starts with our customer and is anchored in providing her a better, more engaging shopping experience. Looking through this lens, I use a framework to prioritize evolutionary versus revolutionary innovation. One, near-term innovation, which is sort of the here and now, the things you have to do. Number two, next generation innovation, which are the things you can see today but are not really here yet. And three, total disruptive innovation, which includes the creation of new categories and the disruption of your current value chain. I spend about 60% of my mind space on near-term innovation, 30% on next generation, and really only about 10% of my time on truly upstream R&D ideas, since I don't have any idea what the returns could be. So first, near-term retail innovation. The four core tenets, as you know, of any near-term retail technology strategy must include cloud, mobile security, and the analysis of your big data. We are in a new industrial revolution, and the mining and analysis of your big data is changing the way we do everything. Every business today is a technology business, whether you're in fashion and beauty like Bluemercury or even agriculture. We use our point of sale to capture millions of data points about our customers' purchase history. The analysis of these golden nuggets help us better serve our customers, including marrying targeted sampling to those whose preferences we're intimately familiar with. Retailers who are not collecting and mining this data render their point of sale to essentially glass hammers with empty calorie transactions. Also, of course, true omni-channel retailing must be a big focus of your here and now. Our omni-channel goal is beauty everywhere, where clients can get our products and advice 24 hours, 7 days a week, with access to the endless aisles of the products in our warehouse. Second, next generation innovation. This will be about automating hyper-personalization and omni-channel 3.0. As we plan a continued rollout of an advanced omni-channel capability, we see a future inclusive of geo-recognition retailing. In the not-so-distant future, our client will come into Bluemercury and we will automatically recognize her on her phone. We will send product suggestions to her mobile device, such as a new mascara, since we know she purchased a mascara from us 3 months ago and may need another. If she likes the product, she can swipe to check out, either in-store or have them sent to her home. We've also partnered with a small company from California called Google and their Shopping Express application in major cities, pioneering a way for customers to actually view our available stock with the hottest new lipstick at her local store with a geo-tracking option, enabling delivery anywhere in the city while she's on the go, or even meet you right at your front door as you arrive home. And third, total disruptive retail innovation. If you're not disrupting your own business, somebody else will. So what does the future of retail look like 5 years out? I'm not sure anybody knows, but I believe that at least the four following ideas could create the next dramatic bow wave of entrepreneurial wealth and value creation. First, integrating the Internet of all things into the retail environment and the devices that are connected to everything. Think about a smart vanity, which will remind you to replenish your under-eye cream before you run out. What about a smart face mask that can analyze your skin and send product recommendations directly to your mobile device? Can you imagine shopping for a lipstick at Bluemercury where all the mirrors are alive, connected to social media channels, where you can get real-time opinions from friends and family on your selection? Sort of gives a new meaning to the term peer pressure. Second, many signs point to virtual reality and how VR will completely upend retail and create the next wave of innovation. Imagine if you could have a complete makeover virtually performed by an expert makeup artist without ever leaving your home. Third, one of the next big things in disruptive technology is certainly 3D printing. It could be the next industrial revolution. I've recently seen a printed jet engine, violins, shoes, even a chocolate teddy bear. Why not cosmetics? This gives hyper-personalization a new meaning. Imagine a world where no two lipstick colors are the same. It's pretty cool. And lastly, the future brings us closer to a world where the customer will want her beauty products now, regardless of where she lives. This is the new on-demand economy. Advanced robotics such as drone delivery could be real in 5 years, facilitating the gratification of same-day delivery to a greater segment of our customers, even in the most remote locations. Unless UPS and FedEx are asleep at the switch, they should own this business, not Amazon. We're thinking about how this can positively influence and better serve our customers. So with all this dramatic and quickly shifting landscape before you, what's a retailer to do? At the heart of this difficult question, I really feel that many retailers are trying to understand how are future consumers going to change the way they behave. For the first time ever, there are more than 1 billion people below the age of 18, and essentially anyone born after 1995 has grown up with a world of the web. Their worldview is completely different than you and I. They will see brands, content, media, and shopping as radically different. Looking forward, only those retailers who are able to harness new technologies and enhance the new shopping experience through innovation will survive and even thrive in this disruptive time in retail history. We're ready, and at Bluemercury, we're optimistic about the future. Thank you. Thank you for having me. If anyone has any questions, only easy questions, please. Anything? Great. Sorry, go ahead. So a funny story. There's actually, that question was answered actually on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. There was a period where there was an article written, it said, more U.S. companies are seeing blue, and it's not just the stock market. And it was like JetBlue, Blue Martini, Bluemercury. Interesting, we started the company, our first investors were the founders of AOL, which was sort of, everyone in this room knows what that was, but when I talk to the millennials, they're like, what's AOL? I'm like, it was the Google of its day, and that's sort of, they get that. And it was all men. And they hated the name Bluemercury. They wanted to call it Barry Marla's Beauty Shop. They wanted the name beauty. And we argued that a brand takes on the attributes that its, that its clients assign to it. So what does it mean? I mean, if you ask people who Starbucks was, most people don't even know. Does anyone here know who Starbucks is? Somebody's got to know. We got to educate. Who's Starbucks? There you go. So what does that have to do with coffee? But today, when you think Starbucks, there's a character in Moby Dick, the book by Herman Melville. Like, hopefully I got that right. So, is that right? Herman Melville? Okay, whew. Okay. And so, but what does it mean? But today you think Starbucks, you think coffee. So people did not like the name early on. But I'll never forget, last thing I'll say about that, we opened our 4th store in Philadelphia where I grew up, and I got a call from one of my high school buddies. And he said, I heard you started a company called Bluemercury, and I'm standing in front of your store. It's so cool. I love the name. So I called my wife on my cell phone, which was like the size of this book, and I said, honey, you're not going to believe it. We're really cool. My phone wasn't that big, but it was pretty big. Yes?
What do you think life would have been had not Sephora opened up at the same time?
Here's my thought about that. Rockefeller did really great with Standard Oil, even when it was broken up. In fact, he made more money, if you look at the arithmetic there, when it was broken up into ExxonMobil, Chevron, all these other companies. But in the final analysis, having a monopoly is good. Did I just say that out loud? I'm part of a Fortune 500 company. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. But look, being the only game in town is always the best. And we always want to be exclusive. But the world's getting more competitive, and so we need to know, how we're different, and we've maintained a point of difference than them. But we'd always prefer.
I would submit it's probably better for you. Because you've got competition, you've got a certain game, people are understanding the type of store it is.
It's true, too. They've also added notoriety. I saw an article last week that says, everybody loves beauty. Every company, you wouldn't believe it. Anthropology, the next thing you're at Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Who knows? They're going to sell lipstick next week. Everybody loves beauty, right? So to your point, they did add some notoriety to the business and some pizzazz to the business. But the truth is, women have been buying cosmetics since Cleopatra and before. And we actually carry a brand at our stores today called Leclerc that Marie Antoinette used. So this is a business that's been around for a long time and is similar to the alcohol business, which is, when times are good, people buy lipstick. And when times are bad, people buy lipstick. because they want to feel better about themselves. So, but it's an interesting point. It's an interesting perspective. They did add something to the business and really made it top of mind. Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the Macys acquisition and what's happening or opening some?
Yeah, sure. So last year, actually almost a year ago, we were getting a lot of calls from interested parties. I said everybody loves beauty. So people were calling, and we hired Goldman Sachs and company to help us just sort out this sort of demand for the business. Macys was looking for a way to innovate, and there's a reason why people do M&A, right? To this idea of why would you build your own home, right? Because you can buy your own home. There's probably a million people here who have built their own homes, but it's why there's M&A, because people have a certain secret sauce. So we had a secret sauce in our business. We had a culture and an entrepreneurial way of doing things, and so Macys bought the company, and they wanted to invigorate their cosmetics department. So we've started to put Bluemercury stores inside Macys. And sort of changing the way they do things, mixing it up a little bit. And I think the department store model needs that, and I think it's good for them, and it's great for us, and they're providing capital for us to grow, and we're adding, we'll have, by the end of next year, almost 150 stores, and interestingly enough, the more stores we add, the more stores I find. So I live in Washington, D.C. I just found 3 new stores, and I live there. So it's just strange. I mean, you just start to find new markets, and they're providing capital for us, and they can provide capital and infrastructure in a way that we could never have imagined possible. Other questions? I won't be long-winded. Anyone? Okay. Yeah?
About losing the culture as you're growing rather quickly?
It's difficult. I'll be honest with you. It's difficult, right? So we're growing at supersonic pace. I mean, so this is my second company I've grown at this pace, but it's difficult. One of the challenges, we had to stop 2 weeks ago, and we were onboarding people at such a clip that we had to have a pizza party in the office and just actually meet people, because it's embarrassing. Nobody knows anybody. We don't know how to work together, but we're onboarding so quickly, and we just need, social, digital, new store, construction, design, development, creative. I mean, it's just moving at such a pace. So it's a concern. I think that for me, it's a self-serving statement, but if the entrepreneur's there, these guys, you just see it time and time again. What happens? Starbucks goes down the tube. What do? They bring back Howard Schultz, right? Because he's the entrepreneur. What happened at Apple? Apple collapsed. What did they do? They went and got Steve back. And then he took the business to heights that they never dreamed possible when they were in the abyss. And so I think that as long as Marla and I are around at the company, I think that we can control it through a sort of a force of our personalities. If I seem timid a little bit, I'm not. So, that we're going to drive this thing forward, and we're going to run it and lead it. And, but yes, of course, this is a concern. I don't think, we're not a big company, so we don't think about culture in that sort of big company way. We're just doing, people are like, oh, we love your culture, your beauty, all these things. And we're like, wow, we never looked at ourselves from in the outside. We're just, we always say, hey, I don't know, we're just doing our thing. Obviously, people like our thing that we're doing, right? But we're just doing our thing and have done the same thing for 15 years. But obviously, we want to stay nimble and small. I always say, this is sort of a cheap quote, but I say, we think globally but act very locally, which is that, do I want to take over the world? Absolutely. But am I going to do it very locally and store by store? Yes, that's the way I think about it. So maybe I'm thinking small, and that's sort of part of it. Any other questions? All right, good. Hopefully I did a good job, and thanks for having me. And